from Stuff and Things, I just picked up my paper pumpkin, and then I also got a card in the mail that I thought was a card, but it was actually Libby sending me some cutouts from the bonus add-on pack, which I forgot to buy, and I am so pleased. Thank you, Libby, for sending them to me. So now I have everything I need to do some paper pumpkin alternatives, which I will get to soon. Alright, I am home. We had to go play some disc golf. We've been working on the trailer all week, and so it's our first day to get out and get a chance to do that. So I already videoed the special mail sent by Libby, which is a sampling of the add-on that you can buy, which I totally forgot to buy when I did my order. So these envelopes, the inside is the pattern in 3 different colors. And she actually mailed it in one and told me to open gently, which I did. So I did salvage the flat big piece to have all 3 of the envelope colors, as well as the 3 different card front designs. So thank you, Libby, for that. Our color, okay, so this is funny because I saw this in the truck. I actually opened it to put the card fronts away to keep them safe. So Blackberry Bliss is the color of the month, and I will tell you that Blackberry Bliss, being a very heavy density color, it doesn't dry fast, and it sometimes will smear. So this is going to be really inky. I might even not use it. I might use mine, which is not ink. You know, I've used it many times, so that I don't make as much of a mess and risk the smearing problem. And you can use a heat gun to dry that ink if you have problems with it. That's a little tip. So here's advertising the add-on, which I forgot, but thanks to Libby, I have enough to do some alternatives with them. All right, what have we got for a stamp set? A starburst, a little jar, a firefly, is that what they're called? A line, a swoosh. We have when, where, RSVP, you light up my life, you're invited, it's a party, and then this is a really long phrase. Oh, the summer nights are all right with everything magic and bright. And then there's a little star, and I don't know what that is. A tiny heart, like the tiniest little stamp I have ever seen, and I don't really know what it is. I suppose I will figure it out while playing with the set. Okay, some more wonderful tissue. I haven't looked at this kit at all, and the only thing I did notice was what the add-on looked like. And my husband asked me while we were driving home, so do you have any ideas of what you're going to do? And I said, nope, I haven't seen anything, and I haven't even looked inside the box, even though I did open it on the way home. So I like to just kind of be surprised and let my creative juices flow where they go. So we've got some twine, not very much though. Looks like Misty Moonlight. Some mini dimensionals, double-sided dots. Ooh, some really pretty gold stars. Love those. Now these are non-card projects. A whole bunch of these envelopes that you're probably supposed to load up with fun stuff. Okay, if I can get it open. There we go. So there's that. There are many of these. Looks like 9 of them. And then there's a whole bunch of probably invitation cards, I would say. with really heavy, boy, this is a thick envelope. Nice, very nice, I like that. Gonna have to think about what I want to do with those. And then I'm sure that there are 9 cards in 3 different colors. So these will be easy to make into card bases. I've got vellum jars, yeah, with gold foil. A whole bunch of die cuts, multiple sheets of them, 4 sheets of them. I'm gonna say these are, oh, they're very pretty, embossed die cuts. 2 sheets. So I will now go away and get to work. It'll be A2 sized cards for me as always. So you're supposed to decorate these fronts, but like I said, they're more of a postcard with the rounded corners. And then I'm sure that on the back you stamp the details of the party. So that is what I will do, is go away and work on that. So stay tuned. Hey, really quick, I wanted to mention a technique that I use if I'm not in a big hurry, which today I'm not in a big hurry. I've got my paper pumpkin plenty early. It is the 17th. It is late in the afternoon, so I'm probably not even going to get the video posted till tomorrow. We'll see how motivated I am tonight. But what I like to do, if I can, I popped out there were 4 sheets of these dies, so this is the piles that they came in. And I do like to remove the little die cut remnants. So that's what I am doing, is painstakingly snipping them off in the pile of 4. I'm just making sure that way when I go to assemble I can grab any of the pieces and won't have any extra little tedious prep work to do. So once I get rid of all of the little hangings, hang tags, these don't seem, yep, they do have them. So it's just a tip that I like to make them clean. You could sand them off, I would think, if you wanted. I just usually take the snips to them and fuss a little bit until I get all of the little edges off. So that's what I'm going to be doing here for the next little bit, is going through all of these and trimming off. Here's one that's been done right here. If it focuses, I'm not sure what it's going to focus on. So that has been done. And this guy has a couple of, oh, there we go. So that's what I'm working on, and I will come back, of course, and give you guys anything else that comes up. I haven't decided on any supplies yet to go along with the supplies. I have cut out one envelope. I will trim it up with my trimmer and decide what I want to do with it. That will make a nice add-on. I may sponge it or color it. I could use it as a stencil. I can think of a whole bunch of different things I could use it for. I also have the jar vellum, which they were already cut out, so there's no little extra hangings, so I get to play with what I might want to do with these. And I'll be back later. Alright, I have come up with some basic designs or beginner stamper designs, and I think 5 more elaborate designs, and I may come up with more. And my goal was to come up, because it's the night sky on these, both the postcard blanks and the samples that Libby sent me, they lend themselves to masculine pretty well. This one not so much, but this one definitely. So when I was going through, I decided to try to make pretty. I don't often go for really pretty cards. You tend to go for the pretty cards if they have flowers, and this does not have flowers. So I thought that would be a challenge for myself. So I'll show you the materials first, go through colors that I ended up using and the trims that I used, and then we'll get into the actual cards themselves. So I have my camera. It's a new camera. It's set very close. I had a new stand. My husband made it mounted to the ceiling, and I did one video back in March. I think that was too far away. So I've moved my camera way down. So this time it's going to be super close. So I'm hoping that I don't accidentally get any of my content off the screen on accident. Because it's actually even smaller. I try to size it to the size of this paper pumpkin grid paper, but it's a little bit smaller than that. So we'll see how I do. I pulled for more sentiments. I pulled sentiments from Peaceful Moments and used the congratulations and the happy birthday. I had the thank you out and didn't end up using it. With these sizes, the congratulations, I actually used this punch, which is currently sitting by my desk, so I use it all the time. I'm a fishtail cutter. I will do non-stop sentiments like the congratulations and just fishtail the sides. So it's nice that I have this particular die or label cutter punch to get some nicer looking sentiments. The second set that I used was the Zany Zebras for one, and I used the It's Time to Celebrate, which I will show. It looks like it's the first thing I will be showing you. So for the whole concept of making things pretty, I chose the new metallic brushed. This is a sneak peek for the mini catalog that launches for customers to make purchases on August 4th, and it is basically what we used to call the holiday catalog. This rainbow paper is in the annual catalog, and this is what's left. I only cut one 4-inch by 12-inch strip and cut that into two and then used that. The Balmy Blue Glimmer is absolutely beautiful, and it is a sneak peek for the holiday catalog, now called the Mini. Again, available on August 4th. This goes with what's called this. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it is a snowflake suite, and it is absolutely beautiful, and I, of course, had to get it. I only did one embossing folder treatment. This is how, and I was going to look up what it's called, and I forgot to do that, so let's do that together. I forgot to get this. Don't even know how I missed it on my list, because it's a basic stand, just you gotta have it kind of a thing in my book. So the embossing, and I know that this is going to be very zoomed in, is Ornate Floral 3D on page 185. And that I finally did get right here. And I used it. And that is all. Then there's some colors involved. And these are colors that I used or thought about using. Let's make sure that you can see them all. Now, Daffodil Delight is actually just the ink, and I used it on a particular stamp that I want to point out for the fireflies. So the other ink, this right here, Rich Razzleberry, I told you at the very beginning that because the Blackberry Bliss has so much pigment in it, which is similar to the very dark purple Copic markers, it's difficult for it to dry because it's so pigmentized. And the pigment is, some sort of a powder, so when this dries, it smudges. So you can use a heat gun to help dry it faster and more fixed to the paper. And then the other trick that I use is I will often use rich raspberry. Instead, it does not have as much pigment in it. I do not find that it smears at all. And so when you use it for sentiments that are a very thin line, it looks just like rich Blackberry Bliss. In fact, to me, the Blackberry Bliss gets on the side of looking very black, and I prefer to have the purple color show through. So that's another tip on dealing with the rich or Blackberry Bliss color. So Seaside Spray, Coastal Cabana, some of these colors are on the instructions. I never went with Magenta Madness, but I'll show you where I was considering using it, and instead I used Calypso Coral Ink, Misty Moonlight, and Night of Navy, and the only color I didn't bother getting out is Real Red, and that is going to be the first sample that I show you coming up right about now. So I want to point out, let me find the stamp set, because I want to point out that in the sample instructions, there's this line, and that is a sparkler for the 4th of July. So hopefully if you're looking for a 4th of July set, make a note for this for next July to use it, unless there's another set that comes up that can do the 4th of July. So I pulled the Zany Zebras It's Time to Celebrate. I don't even bother with making sure I have a sentiment that says Happy 4th of July. Pardon my yawn, it's actually getting late here. And so I use It's Time to Celebrate or Celebrate as close enough, and everybody gets the meaning of it. Now, there's this little tiny stamp. This little guy right here. And if you look at it really closely, it is the shape of kind of a diamond, like a diamond stone on a ring. And if you look at the rear end of this firefly, it's diamond shaped. So sure enough, I will show you what that looks like. I could not for the life of me figure out what this little tiny stamp is for. That is for lighting up the firefly, and I will show you that. I actually did that. So we'll start with the beginner stamper cards. This is Misty Moonlight and Real Red with It's Time to Celebrate. And if I were if it wasn't getting so late, I would work more carefully on this black line. I'd like it to cross over. I masked with masking tape. I actually used this treatment a couple of times, where I just grabbed some. Here's in fact what I did. Just like that, I just covered over the sentiment really quick and then stamped over the top. And I would extend the black sparkler end if I didn't want to hurry up and get this done, but I see that you can get the idea of what it's after and how it will work for you. And definitely set this stamp set aside, make a note, whatever you need to do for your calendar next year to go pull this out if you don't have any other stamps for the 4th of July picked out. All right, so that's that. I used the masking tip on You Light Up My Life. I just went ahead and made a half of a sparkler over the text, and I think that looks just perfect. This is using the Blackberry Bliss, so hopefully you can see how dark that really is. On the back here is where I demonstrate the use of that little tiny diamond shaped tail of the firefly lit up using Daffodil Delight. And those are the 3 beginner cards that I made. All right, now moving on to the fancy alternatives. I'm going to start with a party card. I made one because this is a party theme. You're supposed to use these as a postcard with an RSVP. So I used the It's a Party stamp. That is with Rich Raspberry. I went ahead and put the lanterns on a string to I cut the envelope, no, not the envelope, the the little bag into quarters to kind of stretch it out, and then I'm going to kind of hide the fact that it's cut by putting the lanterns across, and I've already attached and popped up the stars and the little dragonflies. So that one is mostly done, and I might have to, I used a removable adhesive for these 4 quadrants, so it panes of the window, so I could play around with them until it's final. This is actually the first one I started with, and let me grab a full-size white base for a fake card front, because this will have an edge around it, and I will be putting these on their card bases last. And that is what this looks like. I somewhere have my black, there it is. I try not to let my little black, this is actually, I think I've shown you before, it is a cutting mat, and I use it to show when I need the contrast to be black. So this is using the label punch. It uses rich raspberry, and these are also using rich raspberry. Behind is the rainbow shimmer paper that I told you I took one strip, a 4-inch by 12-inch strip, and I actually didn't cut it in half. I measured the width of this, and I got 3 full widths, and then cut off top to bottom, so I ended up with these little extra strips right here. And in this case, this blue to purple strip is what I put through to do the back layer behind the congratulations. So this particular one, I will definitely be doing another layered treatment on a sentiment. So the congratulations can hang over the edge a little bit. I cut out a frame. This frame is actually made using the largest, then you skip one, and that'd be the 3rd innermost from the outside stitched rectangle. It doesn't fit perfectly, so if you're like me and you really like your edges or matting to line up perfectly, you can just attach it. Sorry, it's a little bit adhered on the back. So I would just take my base and I will trim off this little bit here so that it is centered and it'll fit in a normal A2 size envelope. And congratulations is going to end up popped up, and I will probably add stars. There's the gold stars here, and then there's die cut stars as well, and I am not sure. Here are the die cut stars. So I haven't really, this was the very first one, and then I kind of got on a roll, so I got moving. So I'm not sure which stars I will add. If I was thinking very cleverly, I would probably try to cut out stars. I actually did recently buy a retired punch that has stars. It's the moon and the stars, and that is in the clearance section. I think it still is in the clearance section because I did just buy it. And I would cut out some stars, little stars, from this glimmer paper and add them. So we'll see if that's what I end up doing. So there's 3 star choices. I needed to make myself use the jar. So what I did is I took it's a vellum jar. I had a leftover piece of the little mini bag, and I cut it down to size so that it would be white, so that you could see the fireflies inside the jar. I of course then tied the shimmer 1/4-inch shimmer gold that is in the annual catalog at the top. I love the foil. My edging was not even from side to side. It's just a thing for me, and I went ahead from right to left, so I trimmed down. I did a little bit of fussy cutting. And then to adhere the vellum to this white behind, I needed to make sure that wherever I added a dot, see, here's a dot that you can see, I left that there for you to be able to see that it does show through. So I hid dots behind these stars, hid a dot behind this ribbon, and then this dot is going to be behind the sentiment, which is layered. And what I'm not sure of, this is cut down. Let's try to find my full size. One of these will work. And let's see if I have a little bit of trim. I should, yep. Okay, so I have a 1/4 inch all the way around, which is nice. That gives me a little breathing room for my sentiment. And the question I have not decided on this one is I will probably do 1 or 2 more, probably another star or 2 on the background, as well as maybe sponge the edges. I have another project that has the edges sponged, and the reason why I like how it looks is that the edge here has double embossed lines that you can't see very well, and I wanted to dress up the sentiment a little bit more. So that is what I'm going to do on that card, and I really like this one. This one comes out nice. I was afraid that the jar was going to be too large, but I made it work. The next 2 are actually my favorites, and I've left the components off. Same with the jar. The jar I can play around. I should probably show you. I can play around with the various backgrounds and decide which background I want. Here's the one with the coastal cabana to the Night of Navy versus what I already showed you. So I'm playing around. There's actually 3 different card bases in this pile. I only have one because Libby just sent me one of each, which I am very grateful that she did. And so here it is. Here's the last one. Now I haven't trimmed off the edge. It's very similar in nature to this one, but a little bit lighter. And the edge, I haven't trimmed it down. So each of these elements that I'm going to show you, I can still toy with which backgrounds to put them on, though I do have them on a mock-up background. This is really pretty. I made myself, okay, I didn't trim it down. So I need to trim down, this is the inside of the envelope in the Calypso Coral. And I made myself do something with the amusement park. I felt with the amusement park, I'm not sure that I would do happy birthday, but congratulations is nice. I really like the background. This was one of the chunks of the rainbow glimmer, and I took some strips of the metallic gold to do a nice frame around it to match the die cut. Has gold foil in it, and I think this one is very pretty. This was the one that I told you I ended up not using the Magenta Madness. I went instead with the Calypso Coral ink, but Magenta Madness would have brightened it up, but I was going for pretty, and I think this is a very soft, pretty card. So that one still needs a little bit of work before it's ready to go, and I probably will keep it on this background. I think it goes perfect to my eye. This is another one that I really like and was one I did early on. Here's where I showed you, or I told you, that when you sponge, these double embossed layers show up more, and I think this is very pretty the way it is, with the small floral as well as the little tiny dragonflies. But I did want to show you that I think this could also be really, really pretty on the coastal cabana, and it has not been trimmed down, though this is trimmed down So I'm seeing lots of layers, and it's my question to myself is, do I want to see this on Coastal Cabana, or do I want to see it on Night of Navy? Because both colors are in this background, which is from the inside of the envelope, and it has a little tiny Night of Navy as well as the Coastal Cabana. I think that the navy gives it a more formal look, and the Coastal Cabana gives it a little more playful look. So that is all I have for now. I will go ahead and get photos made of these. I have to do some trimming and then get the photographs for the showcase. And I suspect that with the night skies that I still have a lot more, tons more. I will probably do some work and release a second in the series for everyone. Probably in the next few days. We are hanging out at my mom's. We're working on the trailer. I have to go up and hang out with my mom tomorrow. It doesn't work well for me to... We are going to be crafting, but Paper Pumpkin and working on this, we kind of work on things together, and she doesn't have the kit. So we'll work on some other stuff that we actually already started earlier in the week. It'll be our second time crafting together. And then early next week, I will go ahead and do another release, hopefully with a bunch more alternatives. I hope this helps get the creative juices flowing. I really enjoyed taking a break from work, so to speak, to do this. And Hub graciously gave me extra time to be able to play with this today. We actually had to go and get it and like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So normally I wait till the next day, but I really wanted to be able to finish up with my mom because I'd already made the schedule for her. So I'm glad that I got this done. I will now get it processed and up live for you guys. Don't forget that the sneak peek products are available August 4th. So I won't have them in the supplies list until they go live on the 4th, and I will update this list. And if you have any questions at all, please leave comments, and then you can always email me, webmaster@stuffandthings.com, and I would love to help you with your Stampin' Up! Paper Pumpkin or regular product questions and purchases. Thanks for watching.